41, we won't see Collica back down at the weight. He just has grown out of the weight, and it's probably the best decision we can make. I just don't see him making that weight 21 times during the year and staying healthy. He's gotten bigger through the summer and put on a little bit of height, and he was already a big 41 pounder last year. So we might look to move him up to 57 to challenge the weight. Kindig obviously at 49. So as far as the true freshman, we'll just wait and see. But I really believe the only weight we could see one starting this year would be at 57.
You mentioned Alex moving weight classes. Was that something that you wanted to do to fill that hole, or was that something that he embraced right away?
Well, I think it was something that he saw Caldwell graduate. You know, for Alex, the key for him is to continue to do the same things. I mean, one of the things that made Alex great and just made him really tough is all the extra that he put in to control his weight. You know, he came up here in the evening, was always getting 3, 4, 5 miles in. You know, those extra things is what makes your conditioning level, you know, just unreal, and you know, just kind of just makes you angry that I'm not going to do this and not win. You know, so he needs to fill that gap with things other than cutting weight now. You know, he still needs to get those runs in. He still needs to do extra. That's why he's been real successful.
Last couple of years, you had kind of that face of the program, you know, J.O., Chris. Do you feel Alex is ready to kind of step into that role?
Well, you know, you just got to kind of wait and see, you know. He definitely demonstrates that role inside the room. He's pretty consistent in his workouts. You know, people try to avoid him all the time in that room when it's time to get your partner. So he's done well, but we do need that leadership between him and Kindig and Austin Marsden. We need to see that leadership. We're kind of starting again. You know, the last 2 years we've had that good runs there at the end and fell a little bit short, but prepared and wrestled really well. You know, we're kind of starting over again with this group. You know, but starting over doesn't mean a lot of growing pains. Starting over just recognizes as a team we're behind. There's no question about that. I mean, we came out ranked 10th, I think, in several publications. You know, well, 10th to me is behind. And, you know, I know what's coming, and I need to relay that to my student athletes. So we're making sure when it's time to wrestle that we don't wake up and go, oh my goodness, we're not very good. You know, so we're trying to take care of those things right now, remind them of the commitment that it's going to take on a daily basis academically, and both academically, athletically. We can't afford a lot of trouble. We can't afford a lot of mistakes. You know, with a team like this, we got an opportunity to be good, but we don't have an opportunity to be good with mistakes.
Nolan, Boyd, all those guys that were kind of log-jammed up at 184, how are they shaking out?
Boyd to go 84, Crutchmer and Rogers are moving to 74. So, you know, I mean, for our team, these are guys that got to start preparing, and we got to see some positive wrestling out of them, you know. And they all went through a pretty tough year last year as freshmen, and two of them, Rogers and Crutchmer, at the wrong weight. And Crutchmer, you know, he played a role for us that from 74 all the way up to 97 he wrestled, you know. And you know, in the end, you know, that's not a great opportunity for you to get better when you're getting shuffled everywhere. But at the same time, you're not making the team, so you get what you can, you know. Well, hopefully those experiences, it's time to step up, and we can't be making some of the goofy mistakes that we made last year, some of the letdown in matches. I mean, you guys have got to start showing the way for, you know, the next young group that's coming through.
In terms of stepping up, who do you see stepping up 197 with Crutchmer being at 74 with Rogers?
Well, I think you're probably going to see Austin Schaefer. Austin was, we did not recruit the weight. And we feel good about where Austin is. I think that obviously he's going to need some mat time from the standpoint of being a starter, and a lot of what ifs in this lineup. I mean, a lot of question marks, you know. But hopefully we can kind of stamp out those question marks right now and get ourselves well prepared as we start the season next month.
Kindig went on a great run at the NCAA tournament. What do you feel he needs to do to carry that over into this year and into his next NCAA
Well,
tournament?
you know, one of the things with Kindig is he's had some pretty serious injuries that he's been able to overcome, you know, and last year with the hamstring torn back in late 1st of June, you know, it took almost 6 full months for that to completely heal and for him to feel like, you know, I can drill hard, I can wrestle hard. People don't realize that. Even though he started for us early in the year, he struggled, but he maintained pretty good perspective of everything. And in the end, we knew that being ranked 11th going into the NCAA championship, they made a mistake. And he definitely, but you got to show that, and he did show that. And it's a tough weight again. I mean, he finished 2nd in the nation. They came out with him ranked 5th, so he's got all the juice to get him motivated. You know, with the public not giving him respect still.
You know, last year travel was a big part of it. You had Penn State, Pittsburgh, you had a big stretch like that. It seems like it's more spaced out this year, but there's still a decent amount of traveling. How do you think that'll affect you guys this year as it did last year?
We don't make really a big deal out of traveling, you know, so, you know, got plenty of time to rest. You eat, it's a gym, go wrestle, you know. So we have some good home meets, you know. This is a tough home schedule that we have, adding Penn State, you know. So, you know, we got to get a lot better right now. And I'm glad that some of those Penn State and Minnesota and Iowa, I'm glad that we were able to add that Penn State and another Big Ten team to our schedule, because once you get them on your schedule, there's a good chance we'll keep those guys on the schedule, and those are the people we need to be wrestling.
You know, obviously 125 is something that lost Kamara last year. I've seen him around campus a couple times. I saw him this year, or actually today. What's the status of the program right now?
He's back on the team. Officially was added back to the roster late last week.
Yeah. You know, what was kind of the decision that came into that? You know, what he did to try to get back with the program after being dismissed?
Well, basically he was eliminated and had to go through a set of things that we wanted him to go through too, that I'm not going to make public. You know, one of the issues was basically, you know, what was going to be your penalty and from a law standpoint, and what was going to come of it, you know. So I think through his work since that day at Nationals till now, he's put himself in a pretty good position, you know, and not just with the program, but for himself.
You talked a little bit about Marsden, but what do you feel that he can do to take it to the next level?
Well, what we're hoping with Marsden is that he starts off where he left off, you know, and that's what I've talked to him about, you know, this whole preseason. You know, we don't need you to flop around and not get things done, as we saw in some of those bigger matches last year at the end, you know, him not delivering at the end in some of those dual meets that came down to, you know, crunch time. And a lot of that is just not being ready. Well, you've experienced that. You're an All-American now, so we need to make sure we're starting off where we ended off last year, and that's wrestling well, wrestling aggressive, staying focused throughout each and every workout, and just maintaining a presence on a daily basis of what it's going to take for you to win. You know, this is a tough weight class. This heavyweight is loaded, you know, so don't assume that these things are going to just materialize. I mean, it's happened a lot. Guys have been All-Americans, come back the next year and not do anything. You know, happens often. So, I mean, don't assume that things are just going to materialize. Make sure that they do through your effort.